Wonderful. So thanks everyone for joining us today. My name is Susanna. Wonderful. Thanks so much, Michelle. So today we're going to have a session. It's not going to be super long. I also encourage you to come and bring your lunch. This is over the lunch hour, I recognize. So I'm going to learn a little bit together get to know what's coming up for us here at local food farm co-ops and encourage you to ask questions as well too. So let's get started. I can find where we go here. There we go. So a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Susanna Redekop. I'm the communications coordinator here at Local Food and Farm Co-ops. However, not for long. I do have our new communications coordinator, Jessica Cherry, who is going to be joining us here at Local Food and Farm Co-ops, who actually comes to us from the Fair Finance Fund, which was an initiative born out of Local Food and Farm Co-ops. So we're very excited to have her joining us. So a few things about me. I'm also a mom of 3 kids. I always put that first because that's a part of me that never leaves, even when I close the laptop or leave the office, however you may, exit that part of your workday. I've got about 12 years of living and working in co-ops. I also have been a part of the West End Food Co-op, one of the co-managers and co-founders of the retail store, which operated for about 6 years in my neighborhood here of Parkdale in Toronto, which was a food co-op, food hub, community kitchen, also managed a farmer's market, which still continues, and had social programs as well. I also, as part of being with the local food and farm co-ops, I manage the internal and external communications, marketing, and provide communication services to our members. I live in a housing co-op as well too, and have for about 13 years, and co-founded a couple of different co-ops, including a childcare co-op for my then 2-year-old who now turns 13 in a couple of weeks. I'm a master's student at York University. I recently graduated, and my research was looking at the intersections of BIPOC food sovereignty. So that's food sovereignty for Black, Indigenous, people of color, cooperatives, and climate justice. And I was looking at the different ways in which culturally rooted types of cooperation sometimes jive with and sometimes don't with the Canadian cooperative sector. And within that project, I also happen to be a co-founder of Freedom Dreams Cooperative Education. So with Freedom Dreams, we also provide co-op educational resources and workshops for BIPOC-led cooperative initiatives in building the solidarity economy through an intersectionality lens. That's a lot of things. So a little bit about LFFC, Local Food and Farm Co-ops. So we support the development of food co-ops and farm co-ops throughout the whole province of Ontario. We have regional coordinators in the Northwest, Northeast, myself in the South, a project manager, our Indigenous Relations Coordinator, and our Administrative Coordinator as well too, Michelle, who actually happens to be on the call today. We have a member-driven network here at LFFC. Our team and board work to fulfill our mission of fostering vibrant, resilient, connected, and sustainable food co-ops, farm cooperatives, and food systems all across Ontario and beyond, especially with our online lives these days. We provide tools, training, resources, and support for food co-ops, farm co-ops, and different kinds of food initiatives all throughout the system in the sector. We have a number of different projects building our cooperative knowledge and network, connecting various different Northern and Southern Ontario communities in coalition building, collaborative initiatives, improving food distribution and access across the province. Our network of member co-ops and food system actors from farmers, food distribution, retail grocery co-ops, community cooperatives, building upon land trust models and beyond. So anywhere in that food value chain, from seed to supper, benefit from our food systems network in sharing resources, training, mentorships, and much more. So a little bit about our membership. It's a lot to take in. So the gist of it that you need to understand is that we have three main different categories of membership. This is new as of 2022 through our AGM. So we have food co-ops, farm co-ops, and social enterprises. Often they are established or they're startup, incorporate entities. We also have community stakeholders. So that can be individuals or unincorporated enterprises. Sometimes individuals will become members with LFFC for their own consulting needs and can then also have access to the online resources that I'll show you today to be able to use for their practice. We also have a whole different section of sector stakeholder membership. And our sector stakeholders, I'm talking more so about the larger co-op federations, credit unions, and those who are interested in supporting a network like us who work to be able to help launch and develop and provide tools and training resources for the food co-ops and farm cooperatives and social enterprise within that sector, all throughout the province and beyond. So often what that looks like is partnering with us with our course delivery, involvement on some of our committees, and in exchange being able to have and deliver some of the content for our courses, for example. So if you're interested in sector stakeholder membership, definitely I'll have a chat after this as well too. So new as of 2022 are our service packages. In order to access our service packages, you do need to be a member. Membership is $300 as a one-time fee, and that gets you access to our different kinds of initiatives, gets you discounts on the events that we host. It also gets you access to our cooperative toolbox, which is a whole wide range of resources, over 150 resources, downloadables, templates, different kinds of policies from other cooperatives, other food initiatives and food hubs that are on our website. So on top of that, if you are interested in purchasing a grow package or a bloom package, you can do so. These are hosted on our Pollinators of Change network, which I will show you shortly. So with our grow package, it's $10 a month or $100 a year, which you save a little bit when you pay the annual instead. So you have access to our network, which is our peer networking platform. You also have access to our co-ops on your desktop, which is a self-guided curriculum. It basically takes you through different modules, start to finish, launch your cooperative or food enterprise initiative. So with that program, you have the access on your own time. You can get to the resources when you want to. You can sit down and blast through all of that in a couple of days if you like. You can really take your time and, get to it throughout your season. I know we have a couple of farmers on the call. Part of the impetus for having such a range of flexibility is understanding that your season really takes over once you hit spring, hit March, and we won't even see you until November. That's okay. In those winter months, this is the kind of thing that you can be working on and doing on your own time. So with our Bloom package, this is access to all the things in our Grow package, including that online curriculum. The difference is that you also have access one-on-one to one of your regional coordinators or an expert in your field. So you have a specific goal that you'll work towards, whether it be working on a business plan for yourself, a feasibility study, say a grant application or a pitch to be able to present about your organization, about your co-op. So that package together, that is $19 a month or $200 per year. So now I'm going to be talking a little bit about our courses. So with our courses, which are going to be launching in a couple of weeks, we're really excited. We have our startup course and our Leveraging Your People Power course. With our startup course, this follows a lot of the co-ops on your desktop type of online curriculum. It is a course to be able to help you launch and start up your farm cooperative, your food organization, social enterprise, your small business, and bring those cooperative values to work for you. So we take you through units of building your mission, vision, and values, gathering your people, member engagement, from also value chain coordination, which is really important. So as, for example, when you start a cooperative, start a social enterprise or small business within the food or farming sector, it's difficult to be able to have a long-term sustainability plan unless you're connected to other actors in your area throughout the food system. Food is an interesting topic that touches on so many different departments, so many different sectors and industries, from farming and agriculture to your manufacturing, distribution, transportation, to your wholesaling. And it's really important to be able to be connected to a network, to be able to see long-term success for you. So that's also part of what we do is we help you recognize who is within your web, who do you need to connect to be able to plug in and really get the most out of your business. Um, so being able to connect to value chain coordination is really important, and is something that we also have lesson plans about. And then we also have our second course, which is called Leveraging Your People Power. This course is more designed for the folks who have established enterprises, established cooperatives, or other kinds of business who are looking for a way to be able to bring more cooperative values to work for them. So we have different units within this course, including some work with justice, equity, diversity, inclusion in your workforce planning, how to really move from, having those policies to putting those into action, improving communication, also better member engagement, some good governance pieces in there as well too, making sure that your governance structures are really solid, and also self-managed teams. So working towards more worker empowerment, bringing in elements of sociocracy, better consensus decision-making, and more. I'd also like to take this opportunity to explain that we do have some limited subsidized spots available, and that's thanks to our sector members and our sponsors as well, such as the Cooperators, Gailey, Cooperative Foods, and Kindred Credit Union. And so as I explained before too a little bit, so this is a bit of an overview of our courses with our startup and leveraging your people power. So within each quarter, you would have a certain theme, and each quarter, from November to January in this case, each month you have a live Zoom session that happens within your course. Every week you have materials to go through, learning materials, and go through at your own pace. On the online platform, you're able to connect to your cohort, able to connect to experts and your instructors, and that's all within the platform. So there's ways to be able to engage each week, but it's easy and flexible within your schedule. Also, the sessions will be recorded, so you can have that for later to be able to reference. So you can see how all these things are planned here. I may also mention at this time too that we recognize that summers are hard to be able to engage people. So while we're trying to have these courses be flexible for your schedule, we recognize that July and August are times people are not really available. So those months we don't have active for our courses. But other than that, it's once a month that you have your live sessions and your weekly engagement online. So introducing our Pollinators of Change Network. We launched this network in April of 2022 with our assembly. Our assembly is our annual event that we were using to be able to bring people together. We bring in speakers and workshops, a very engaging amount of time, small amount of time. And we've always gotten really great feedback about it. One of the things that we've noticed is that it's one thing to bring people together for one specific event, but it's that long-term sustainable support throughout the rest of the year that I really feel like people were missing, and that we were, hearing people get really excited about the assembly, but also want to find support for carrying that through. So our solution is our online courses. So with the Pollinators of Change Network, you do have access to all of these pieces, including that cohorting and peer networking, access to experts, your course content, and the ability to be able to share about what's going on with your cooperative, with your business throughout the year as well too. So I'm just going to take that opportunity to be able to switch gears and show you our Pollinators of Change Network. So here is your landing page. You learn a little bit about us and why you should join. I also want to point out this time that we also have an app. We are based on the Mighty Networks platform. So you can use that app, download it to your phone, access your course materials there as well too on the go. It's very flexible. So in terms of our startup course and our leveraging your people power course, these year-long courses are $500 per person. When you bring in a group, they get a discount of 10% for a group of 3 people signing up or more. So then it becomes $450 per person. For members, they automatically save that 10%. So for them, it's $450 per person. And if they're adding a group, the third person and beyond that, and more people added, is $425 per person. The Grow package is also here as well too, but again, that's with membership. You don't need membership to be able to join our courses. So enough about that. Let's go take a look. I'm going to sign in here. Okay. I just moved you guys down to the bottom of my screen, so hopefully you can see all these. Great. So when you first arrive to our Pollinators of Change network, at the very main page, when you first land, it's kind of a Facebook style feed. So people can post events, you can RSVP here. You have a sense of people introducing themselves and adding their profiles. You get little tidbits about the events that are coming up from our amazing instructors, for example. You can post articles. Anybody can post in the main page here, and it'll pop up and it'll, share with everybody else what's going on. We also have here topics to be able to organize that content. So for example, if you're really interested in farming, if you pick this topic to be able to follow, anytime something new about farming posts and gets put up, whether it be in the main Facebook type feed, whether it be in other parts of the courses that you're a part of, that will show up here. And also, if you want to be able to post something about farming, you can choose to do that here, and it's automatically tagged with that. Our events, as you'll see here, when an event is live, like this one, for example, it pops up with this little button here. And then anyone on the network, if they happen to be online at that time, have access to those events, they can pop on. You can also access things right in the events, right in the platform here. You don't have to go elsewhere to go onto your Zoom and find those things. It's right here in the platform that it plays. You also have the ability to be able to, for example, comment on different things and pieces. If you have questions about the event coming up, if you want to start a discussion, you want to say how excited you are about it, there's ways to be able to connect every step of the way and comment on things, tag others. That's one piece I love about this platform. When you're looking at different roles, you can see here different experts in different areas and different sectors will tag themselves as such. So if you want to find someone who's an expert in co-ops, for example, you can also see them right here, and you can also access them. We also have circles, and circles are a way to be able to connect as a smaller network within the larger Pollinators of Change network. So for example, with the Northern Food Distribution Network, this is one of our projects that is across the north. Bonita is our Northern Food Distribution Network coordinator. So within this circle, for example, she's able to post, different updates that have been happening, different resources, events. If they, so happen to be able to organize for just their network, they can do that there. And there's also chat, so you can connect to others and everybody that's in this network here. And then our courses. So our courses are all listed here. And so we have our co-ops on your desktop, like I mentioned, our startup, our leveraging your people power. And so when you go into our courses, you'll have the opportunity to be able to see, there's a table of contents where you have all these different pieces that are organized into our modules. So as I said, each module is 3 months worth. And so each module, with the food systems and value chain coordination, member community engagement, funding pre-feasibility, governance, business financial planning, plus lots of bonuses. So within each of these pieces, let's pick one, for example. There's exercises to go through with your team or for yourself. There's webinars and there's former videos and pieces that we have recorded that are right within the platform, the play right here. We have downloadable templates, lots of tools for you to be able to use on your own time. So you really have the options to be able to take things as deep as you want to on your own time. And again, the ability to be able to connect at the end of each lesson, each course, module and piece of it. If you want to tag somebody else, hey, I want you to take a look at this. If you have questions about what you just read, what you just went through, you can also ask us here. Oh, and I want to also say too, with your courses, so when you're taking a look, you also have the option of being able to, when you have the each piece of it, you have a bit of an intro, and then you also have, you can see the different pieces that are coming up. So each module, as it becomes available, we are adding to, and right now we have some in each of them, but of course, once that becomes available in the next 3 months, you'll have access to all the ones that are there. And then in the wider network, you can see who's online. You're able to connect to everybody, at once if you'd like to. Our whole network that's here. And I think that's probably a good wrap up of this tour at this time. So I'll bring it back here to where we were talking about our network. And I think I'll open it up for questions. So does anyone have any questions at this time? Taking a look at some of the cool action in the chat. Nice. It's great to see other people connecting to each other. So yeah, feel free to unmute, feel free to put questions in chat, raise your hand. Now's a great time to be able to ask.
So thanks so much, Susanna. It's Libby here. I don't know if you can see.
Hi, Libby.
How's it going? I'm just wondering, so maybe you mentioned this and I missed it, but for the startup course, would it be like are there kind of coordinated Zoom classes in addition to, I'm sure you said that, I'm sorry.
No worries, it's all good. It's a great question. So yes, so within each of the courses, so you do have the access to being able to, have that online engagement weekly with the different pieces of each module. But in your events here, which is within the courses, this is where you'll be having all of your different pieces.
Okay.
So yeah, the orientation session. Yeah.
Commitment for the, like, how often are they do they happen? Weekly, bi-weekly?
Once a month.
Once a month, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zoom sessions are once a month. And then you're able to, do the online engagement once a week.
Okay, nice. And then when you join the course, do you have access? Because the timeline is a bit longer than what as you know, my situation, I'm finishing my thesis. And so there's kind of like a different timeline that I'm working on. Do you have access to the full course right away in terms of the materials so that, I could kind of go ahead, or is it released, every few months?
That's a great question. So we do have some materials that are available, to everybody, like once you log in.
Right.
If you're looking to sort of fast track, can definitely talk about that because it might be a good option for you to be able to access the Grow package as a member, because that is your start to finish, launch your co-op, like all the materials that there can go on within your own time. But there is not the monthly engagement sessions within that though. So yeah, there's definitely some options and some flexibility. So yeah, I would say let's definitely chat about it and see what's possible.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Susanna.
Yeah, absolutely. And James, I see your question here asking for only food related or if it applies to other areas of interest as well. So we are based in food, but at the same time, there are a lot of similarities and a lot of different kinds of cooperatives that can follow some very similar pieces or social enterprises. Did you want to explain a little bit about your organization and how you feel you may fit in? Feel free to unmute or put in the chat. Either way is fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
My name is James. Just in the process of starting what I hope to be, what I hope will become a network of cooperative businesses
So
that would
cool.
love to include food, but not exclusive to. I am curious about the food side of things. I've done a lot of reading about worker-owned cooperatives and stuff like that, but I'm,
Great.
I'm less read on the what do we do with like the farmer side or the supply side of things, and I'm curious to know if you guys like touch on that sort of thing as well.
Definitely. I think this would definitely be a good option for you.
Mhm.
So we have members who are farmers, farmer co-ops, not incorporated, cooperative, collective operating farmers as well too. And there's definitely pieces of the courses that touch on farmers and touch on farming. And we actually have a whole other curriculum that we co-developed that specifically is for farmers that is talks about how to sell beyond your farm gate.
Okay.
So that one's really about scaling up and going to, talking about wholesale, selling to restaurants, finding your distributors, your partners. I'm talking about value chain coordination. A lot of those pieces kind of come in because we're talking about how to plug into that whole, value chain, but also in a way that really uh, works with your values. So, finding others who are cooperatives, finding others who are social enterprises, and finding different ways to be able to stay local and not have to buy into the larger conglomerates because you want to be able to support your own local food system and those around you. So,
Great.
I think that's a great option for you, and especially. So you said you're launching this network. That's something that you are in the process of doing.
We're doing a series of public meetings on Mondays in Owen Sound,
In
where
Owen
we're going to be
Sound, great.
presenting our idea to our local community. We actually, as we were talking, one of the members of our group sent out the press release or to a bunch of different
Fantastic.
places there. So I was actually sitting there going like, oh my goodness, this is happening starting next week. So we're doing Mondays 7 to 9 at the Community Incubator in Owen Sound, which is a local newspaper. So they've
Fantastic.
generously opened up their space to us for use. So now we just need to get bums and seats and people interested in coming together to do things together for themselves, what they're already doing for others.
That's great. Fantastic. Yeah, I would say definitely feel free to, if you have a press release link, if you want to put it into the chat here so you can share it with everybody, or,
Thank you.
love to be able to see it if you want to send it my way. I believe, is it my email that's on this one? No, my email's not, but I'll put it into the chat. So feel free to also send that to me as well too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did
Absolutely.
have another small question if you have time for it, if you
Of
do need to move.
course.
It had to do with the subsidies and stuff because like currently I'm on a pension, so and it's difficult to secure money for stuff like that. How
Right.
difficult is it to get on it? And does it cover the full amount, or is it just a partial coverage?
It's a great question. So currently we have some amount of subsidized spaces that are available thanks to our sector members. And so the way it works right now is first come, first serve.
Mhm.
So folks who are interested in signing up for the courses, I ask what they're able and comfortable with contributing, because obviously the more we can spread out the subsidies to as many people as we can, the
Right.
better. And so some people will need a full subsidy. Some people may need partial subsidy. So those are some details that, you and I can chat about if you want to set up a
Yeah.
meeting.
Perfect.
But yeah, and of course, the more sector members that we get on board, the more subsidies we're able to also offer. So, that's also a pitch for anyone out there that knows of other organizations who'd love to be able to partner with us to deliver content, for example, and to know that those subsidies are going to people who really need them.
Mhm. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I would love to get in touch with you. So maybe we'll figure that out.
Definitely. If you want to send me an email, but also, I'll follow up with you afterwards. So I have the attendance list as well, too. That's what I'll do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else? Other questions? Hi, Libby.
Oh, I was just gonna say, in terms of sector membership, first of all,
Yeah.
James, very cool what you're doing.
So cool.
Sounds amazing. And I just wanted to say something about the sector membership stuff. I know that Marcelo mentioned like he listed off a bunch of organizations that
Great.
would be open to sector membership, and I can't remember any of them right now, but I'm meeting with him today, and so I'll ask him and write them down and email them to you.
That would be
Maybe you know
lovely.
them already. I also was like, I feel like Susanna probably, because you've been in this world for a long time, but I'll send them to you anyways, just in case. And yeah.
That sounds great. I'm always open to new ideas and new leads for sure.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, well, we're at just a little past 12:30. But if there's no other questions for now, I'm very happy to be able to, just leave it that if anybody else is interested in, following up with me, I'm very always available and I can always have a time to be able to connect. So thanks so much for joining us. And I hope that everyone has a great rest of their day.
Awesome. Thanks, Susanna.
Thanks. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks so much, James, for sharing the press release.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Take care. Oh, and also I'll be sharing this recording so you can send that to your other teammates as well too, if you'd like.
Yeah, we've got a green thumb on our team who I think would really benefit from this. So I'm going to try and convince her to be a part of this as well. So
Yeah, fantastic. And also too, I mean, yes, with the subsidy question, but also if you do have a group, there are, the discount as well too. So, even if a subsidy is needed for, your space, for example, but others can afford the 450, then that also can work as well too. So we have subsidy for one, and then 450 gets a discount for the others.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll be in touch. Take care now.